Check out thechosenprime.com in the link in the description below for this and other great items.
Welcome everyone to another RFC Reviews. I'm your host Diecast, and today we have Reformatted Mastermind Creations R13 Spartan, which is their Impactor figure. Here you can see a picture of the front of the box. It does have a nice, some nice artwork on the inside. It's that clamshell packaging, and on the back you just get his different modes, tank mode, and a couple other different poses that they put him in. On the bottom you have some warnings, so if you need to be warned, read that. Nice picture of Impactor's face, and again another nice picture on the top. So, good job on the packaging. I wish they would start making the packaging, and this is not geared towards Mastermind Creations because their packaging is usually not too large, but I really want the third-party manufacturers to start trying to make the box as small as possible. Fans Toys did it with their recent release of their Shockwave, where they actually collapsed the legs and the box is about half the size of the original. Not only for shipping purposes to try and save some of the resellers some costs, but also because I'm running out of storage space. So if I want to keep the box, I want it as small as possible. Like I said, this isn't a bad size box, but even if they left this guy in tank mode, they could have probably made the box half the size. So still not a bad size, and that's, just something that's kind of on my mind. I'm not really complaining about this figure and the size of the box, but I think in general third parties can do a better job at making a smaller packaging size. So let's go ahead and look at Spartan. As you can see, I think really nice face sculpt. This shoulder cannon can come off if you choose to do that, and it does have a swivel so it can go up. It can't go down too much. If you kind of leave it, don't plug it all the way down in the hole, you can get, I don't know, no you can't. So yeah, it doesn't go down, but it does go up. It can be used as a weapon if you want, but honestly he comes with plenty of weapons. His head is on a ball joint. You can get a lot of up on it, and down a fairly good amount. So yeah, that looks really nice. Really happy with that. Everything on this figure is either really tight. The only exception is I would have liked these hands are on a ball joint, or actually the hands unplug. There's this little purple piece that's on a ball joint. That could have been a tad bit tighter, but it still holds the weapon fine. It doesn't droop. So, all in all, like I said, very minor nitpick, but it just feels loose compared to everything else on this figure. And then there's his dagger, I guess you'll call it. That's what came in the packaging. This is how it came, and it's actually in two pieces. You can see this little plastic purple piece, and then the actual dagger itself, or harpoon, or whatever you call that. And then the drill came with an extra one too, so you could put the drill on, just pop that in his hand right there, and then you could also pull out this hand and take this extra purple piece and just pop that on, so he can have no hands and just weapons if you want. Really cool. So he looks like he would mess someone up real bad if he was in battle with those. And of course you do get two hands, a left and a right, so you can have him with two hands if you want. Combinations are kind of almost endless. There is another little tiny piece, and it's actually stuck in his arm right now. I can't get it out. Oh, there it goes. Now I lost it. Alright, Darn. So here is that piece that just went flying on me, and I'm gonna leave it in his arm for now. What that is, the instructions I don't think say anything about it, but that's to help kind of hold the front together in transformation. Now, I'm just gonna leave it in the arm because it's not really, a distraction from the figure. But let's go back into some of the articulation. His shoulders can do a full 360. He's got a swivel right there, and then a rotate at the upper part, and then he does have a very nice double jointed elbow, just like that. These front pieces can detach. I actually accidentally detached them when I was first transforming him, and there's nothing wrong with that. They pop right back on, so no issues there. It does have a little bit of swivel in the wrist if you want, and then it does have a waist swivel. Very nice. Legs are very, very tight. They can go forward about that far. They can go back about that far. If you rotate this piece a little bit, you could get him out kicking almost 90 degrees. And then he has a really nice, you can see these panels are separate due to transformation, which we'll get into. He's got a really nice leg bend, almost 90 degrees. His legs are bulky. They're pretty cool. I really like the design on them. And then his foot is on a swivel and a ball joint, and his toe can articulate forward a little bit. So a lot of range and movement in the feet. The only thing is, if you start rotating it out too far, it kind of looks a little bit silly because it doesn't stay center to the actual leg. So just something to be mindful of. You can, tilt it whatever way you want. I've gotten some really nice poses out of him, so I'm really happy about that. I think his legs might be a tad too tight. So what I think I'm going to do is there is a screw right on the back here, and I'm just going to try and loosen up those screws for the legs because they're just a lot tighter than I really feel comfortable with. Almost like some of the Warbitron stuff, how tight those were, and almost every figure of those needed a little help, a little loosening. But he does also have cannons in his feet, which are really meant for vehicle mode or tank mode, but you can give him those if you want. But I love the look of this guy. I'm not a big comic person. I did read Last Stand of the Wreckers, which is definitely worth going through. I really liked Impactor's character, and not going to get into too many details. You should read it if you want to get some background on this guy, but he is really nice, and I'm just super happy to finally have him in hand. So let's go ahead and get into the transformation. And first thing you want to do, I'm just going to switch this back to how I had it originally. Leave him with his harpoon and his wrong side. And his one hand. Here is the weapon he comes with. It is all solid silver, and I think it's a gun. Yeah, it might be some other stuff too. It's really strange looking, but someone's going to tell me exactly what it is in the comments below, which is awesome. I love when you guys comment. It helps me to learn, and I really like the interaction with you guys. So thank you everyone who's subscribed so far. Please tell your friends. It's a new channel, and I really want to try and build the channel as best possible. That way I can bring you more reviews. So for the transformation, we're just gonna, and I do this a little bit different than the instructions. I managed my way through this before I even looked at the instructions, and I did not do it the same way. So I'm gonna do it the same as I did when I first transformed him. First thing you want to do is get this foot out of the way, and it kind of rotates around like that, and it'll peg in. There's a hole right there, and then a tab right there that lets you peg that in. Then we're going to flip out the rest of the treads from the inside of the leg, and that'll peg into the foot on the front here. Now you can see where those gums come into place. I actually didn't notice those the first time I transformed this, and when I found them I was like, oh my god, that's awesome. So which it is. It's a nice little detail that they didn't really have to put in there. So just gonna flip this out, tabs into the foot real nice. I'm sure you guys could hear that. Like I said, these legs are just a little bit tighter than I would have liked, but so now that we got the legs done, we're gonna come up here and go to the top, and first thing you want to do, we're going to open up his chest, rotate his head around. That's going to prevent any damage to his head. And then just flip that down, and it's going to go right into that hole right there. So, but we're not going to flip the chest up yet because you want to unpeg the arms, because they do tab into the chest right there. So there's a little tab there that goes into there. Very important to do that. Then this back piece, his back panel, you can bring that out and rotate that around. And just be mindful when you're rotating that around, because there's these two purple tabs that can get in the way of the rotation. So you just want to make sure you're not going to break any of that. Not that it's weak. The plastic quality is very good on this. Typical MMC plastic quality, very nice. But I just like to tell everyone, just be careful. It's not like you can run out to the store and get another one of these. So now that we've done that, I'm going to come to the front here. I'm going to rotate these in, just like so. Rotate that in. And then these arms, you want to rotate them out, just like so. That kind of puts these up front and rotate them around. And this is where everything's going to tab together. So you might want to straighten out the arms first. It'll just help you tab everything in. And then you can see where that additional yellow piece that came in the box is going to come into play. That's just going to help hold the arms together. Because other than that, there's really nothing holding the front of this together. So, and then these pieces will rotate, and there's two tabs right there and two slots right there that they'll lock into. And again, if you tab them in, might have been easier to bend the elbows first and then lock the arms together, but we'll do it this way since we started. There you go. And that's the front of the tank. And then this waist piece rotates in a lot of places. So basically you want to rotate this whole piece around and then there's a tab right here and a slot right there that this piece is going to lock into, just like that. And then this front piece is going to collapse onto itself, and it'll lock in on the sides here. And again, this too also takes some maneuvering. Actually, I might need to separate these arms first. Yeah. Separate those arms first, it'll lock in a little bit tighter. And now we can tab all the arms together. Get this leg out of the way for a second. And there you have pretty much the top of Impactor's vehicle mode. Just going to pop these up, and we'll line these up with these purple plastic pieces. Kind of acts as a working strut. There we go. And then all we have to do is the legs. Now this is the most tricky part. The legs go up like this. And then you want to rotate this around like that. And then you're just going to bring the leg up and line it up. Oh, one other piece I forgot. This purple piece right here flips around. Kind of fills out the back of the tank. Same thing on this side. Just flip that around. Line that up. And now, when we close the leg, if I did this right, everything should line up fairly nicely. And that's one of the problems. This piece is in the way of this right here, so we kind of have to rotate that out of the way. I think it rotates up. I think it's been, I got this a couple days, I transformed it, and then I put it off to the side. Just been super busy, so now I'm going back to do the review. Just like that. I think that's right. Yeah. And then when you rotate that up, everything should line up fairly well for you. So there you go. And then on the front here, there's a tab on the front of this tread that locks into the other side of the arm. So let's go ahead and do that for the other side. Again, we're gonna rotate this top piece so it's down. Rotate this top piece so it's at the top. This thicker piece right there. And it doesn't need to go all the way up. That's the correct angle. Then we're going to rotate that. Bring the leg around. And now we just have to lock all this together. And once you get it all tabbed in, it tabs in exceptionally well. And now you have a nice little compact tank. And this is the part I was saying, you know, if they would have packaged it like this, they probably could have got a smaller box. So, just something I'd recommend for all companies to do. And then Impactor's cannon, shoulder cannon, will plug into the front there, just like so. That way, on this you get a down and an, oh no, I didn't have it plugged in right. There you go. So you get up, there's still no down. And there you go. There's Impactor's tank mode. And he doesn't do too much other than, you know, the articulation on the cannon here. There is a little bit of rotation side to side, but it's very minimal. That's left or right, and that's left, and it's, you know, there's no up or down to this piece, which is actually his chest, but there's no up or down to it. There's some nice paint details on here. I really like the silver that they used. Some yellow in here on the front. Tank treads have some black on the side here. Some red on the back. So, you know, there's definitely some nice details to this. The purple, the yellow on the front of the cannon, of course. And no wheels, unfortunately. You can see there's plenty of room, you know, kind of in here on the bottom. But no wheels on the tread, so he can't roll. So if that's a thing that you enjoy, you might not enjoy this figure, but overall, this is just an excellent figure. Let's kind of get him in here for a size comparison. We'll put Wheeljack in here just to give you an idea of his scale, size in tank mode. So, and then I'll go ahead and get him transformed, and we'll do some size comparisons in robot mode. Alright, for size comparison, here we have Impactor, and here we have Springer, one of those other Wrecker buddies. And you can see they match up pretty nice. They scale well together. And I like that Impactor is a little bit more bulky than the Generation Springer, because I think that's perfect for the character and that he should be. Also, one thing I forgot to mention in the review, these panels here do rotate out to give you a little bit more room to pose the feet, and then you can just angle them however you choose. So, and then let's get him in here, just because he's next to me. I know he's not. There he is, with a regular Masterpiece car, or what I would consider a Masterpiece car. And he scales well with the Masterpieces, even though he's really more of a Classics figure, or going to fit in your Classics line a little bit better. And again, just because he's there, here he is with Animus. Stealth mode Animus in the background, and they all look really nice together. So again, I want to thank you guys for checking out this review. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe now, and make sure you check us out live Wednesday nights on Radio Free Cybertron, and that's 8 o'clock Eastern time, and that is a new time. It used to be 8:30, but we moved it to 8 o'clock. So join us live and subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on Facebook at Diecast2, and make sure you check out the Chosen Prime, where you can pick up all your plastic crack needs.